Alright, we get it. Valorant CS, same game, who do? But to be fair, Riot have been pretty blunt about Valorant's purpose from the beginning.
Project A is our character-based tactical shooter. It's competitive, it has precise gunplay, and it has a lethal cast of characters, each with their own unique abilities. This is our take on
Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
But I won't lie to you, the game's been a blast so far. Champs like Brimstone give me the possibility to control the game on my own. Reyna or Phoenix are champs with aggressive kits and heals. While Sage Wolves give you the creativity to peek over all sorts of spastic shit. Also, it's basically been hunting season out there for any CSGO vets. Just mowing down League of Legends players who can barely hold a mouse. Yeah. 30s. 40s. Look at these one taps. I'm a god! But hold up. Is this game actually fun? After doing some critical thinking and ignoring my brain buzzing me with dopamine while I waltz over new players, the game's flaws start to become apparent. If you're any bit interested in learning a bit about map design, I'd recommend this video here. It covers some of the basics about map design and why the Valorant maps are bad. Also, I'm no expert or even have the slightest idea on how to create a map. I've just played CSGO for a ridiculous amount of hours and dipped my toes in the competitive scene. Regardless, I'm here to spit some hard facts on why the Valorant maps don't compare to CSGO's. So, let's talk maps. If you look at any of the maps from a top-down view, it looks like it was made by some amateur. Almost every area that isn't a bomb site is a thin corridor or tunnel that solely exists to lead you there. This results in no need for mid-control and lots of awkward claustrophobic gunfights. It honestly feels like I smack the walls a lot, fighting the map instead of the enemy. It would be bad enough if it stopped at thin, but apparently to accommodate full abilities, every single pathway and rotate is extremely twisted and windy as well, leading to issues like having to check really annoying corners all the time, but also making it so there are very limited ways to play angles, crossfires, or positions around the map. There's no way you could spin this as a positive change either. The point of a competitive shooter is to outsmart your enemy, whether it's through finding a hole in the defense or dragging rotates to create one. But with embarrassingly basic map design, let's say you're on the flank. All the enemy has to do is turn around, whether it be by luck or skill, and you've walked right into their crosshair. And this is only the case because with lanes as narrow as these, there's really nowhere else to look. Map design like this lowers the skill ceiling. And although champions give us an entirely new tactical depth unseen by CSGO, it's basically been completely voided by chaining these champions in a cage for 90% of the game, until they're on the site. For months prior to the game's release, through all sorts of teasers and Riot telling us themselves, we knew this game was going to be a mix of Overwatch and CSGO, but fuck my ass did they take that concept literally. For those of you that haven't played much CSGO, here's how they stack up. First, the major components. So obviously it's a 5v5 bomb defusal game mode, 1 life per teammate. Now the more niche things about CSGO. The complicated strafing. Moving and shooting mechanics having to be synced, no sprint. Gun mechanics, spray control, round times, bomb times, economy. The balance of weapons in order from most to least viable. Sniper, rifle, SMG, pistol, LMGs, then shotgun. The left-left-right knife combo. Buying utility, but now in the form of abilities. And even the range is a copy of a popular CSGO workshop map. There are a billion ways to make an aim trainer scenario in a game. Why just copy and paste aimbots? I at least hope my man's getting royalties. When it comes to the cast of champions, they're hard rips of Overwatch champs, just with abilities divvied out at random. And to be fair, I'm not an Overwatch player at all, but I've heard people compare the two closely. I don't know what else they could have done to make it work. Just sad that the women aren't as memorable. It honestly feels like the people working on the project were given little to no opinion at all when it came to how the game should work. It's as if someone came up with the idea of Overwatch characters' CSGO gameplay, and no one chimed in with anything else different. They just beelined it to the finish line with that single thought in mind.
Whoa! Whoa!
Spike planted.
Well, you couldn't tell, this game's player base is a mix of CSGO, Overwatch, Siege, and other competitive FPS burnouts, looking for the next big thing to grind ranks on. Of course I can't forget my League of Legends homies, who are busy ego boosting the rest of the FPS scene, but the problem with trying to steal a player base is they obviously main their respective games for a reason. That reason being, most big esports or multiplayer games right now play very differently, even if they do share similar qualities or even from the same genre. And one of the biggest indicators of this, if you're really good at one of them, you're not instantly really good at the other. Games being significantly different to each other is extremely key to their success, and I believe Valorant fails really hard at this. The game plays and feels like a cheap CS clone. It was honestly really ballsy of Riot to try create another League of Legends Dota scenario, and because of this, I honestly think they've already dug the game's grave, and once it starts to lose hype, why would anyone stick around when they could just play either of the OG versions of the game? The game's fun, and there are small quality of life improvements on CS, mainly to do with the in-game economy, but small improvements like that don't overlook something as huge as the game's core maps being suffocating or zero innovation taken with the game. It sorta sucks because CSGO and Overwatch were both wildly successful, so there was no doubt putting them together was a safe bet to creating an instant hype train and following behind it. But that's just it. It's the safest bet Riot could make at a money grab, and barely offers anything new besides its title.
Is it 4? Was it F?
Nah, it was 4. What the fuck?
Ah, alright.
That was almost really good but really bad.